So something that I would find uncomfortable and a bit difficult to report on would be mental health, because there's such a big stigma around mental health, and I'm actually a mental health care assistant at the Priory Hospital Southampton, and sort of the first thing that people ask me, obviously out of kindness, is, oh, what are you studying? And I'll say journalism, and there's sort of this rapport that's like, oh no, I'm not comfortable with that, no. Sort of then I just think, oh gosh, is that what they think of me? Is that how the media treats people with a mental illness? And like I said, there's this big stigma that comes with them, and I mean, they get made such a villain in a lot of stories, and I don't know, I just would personally feel a bit uncomfortable with that. And I think they're used as case studies almost sometimes, like their illness is more than what the person is, and I don't think that's really appropriate. And I mean, I've been researching it a bit, and there's organisation called Time to Change, which is run by mental health charities such as Mind, and they've sort of set out some guidelines for journalists, which I have never even come across, so that's been really helpful. And they've sort of taught me to look at things like, is the mental health issue actually relevant to your story, or is it just a little extra that you could add in? It could actually change the whole concept of the story. And also another thing, I mean, I personally wouldn't think of doing it anyway, but just to not give people a diagnosis and just think, oh, if, for example, if that celebrity's acting up, or if they got something wrong with them, or do you know what I mean? Are they putting on a bit of weight? Are they depressed? Do you know what I mean? I don't think that's appropriate, and I think that's something I would like to steer clear of. And yeah, talking about the villains, I think they're almost just as likely to be a victim too. I mean, they're a victim to many newspaper tabloid articles and things like that. And I mean, when at the Priory, we have sometimes journalists hiding in bushes to come and interview people if there's anyone famous there, and that's just not something I want to be. I don't want to be hiding in the bushes, and I don't want to be representing an organisation that's actually helping these people like the hospital does, and like I tried to do, as bad. And I mean, things do go wrong in hospitals, that happens everywhere, but these articles, there was an article in The Sun the other day that was exploiting things that happened in the Priory, and I just think they pick up on the bad things, and I'd like to be the ones to represent, well, look what they have done, look what they have done for these people, look at how many people have walked away with a big smile on their face and maybe not fully recovered, but a big step further to what they were. So that's something I'd like to focus on, the positives of mental health, and just not see it as this awful, awful thing we should steer clear of, and just not talk to these people with the mental health issue. So yeah, that's what I would talk about.